Hi and welcome. In this video I'm going to provide a brief overview of some of the data that we provide as part of our crawl and analysis. Now our web crawler goes away and collects a lot of data from your website, and then after we've collected that data we process, segment and analyse that data in a number of different ways to be able to give you a clearer picture of all of the SEO and website data that we've collected. And we break this into different sections. You can come to this section by clicking the reporting link in the side menu, or from navigating from any of the other reporting links throughout the software. Now when you first come to this page, you'll notice that there's collapsible tabs, and these just really cover the sort of top level sections of the crawl data that we have available. So we have summary information, which includes things like the number of URLs crawled, whether the pages are HTML or not HTML, if they're indexable or not indexable, if they return a status 200 or otherwise. We also provide indexation information, such as pages that have no index tags, those that are disallowed from the robots. We also provide information on redirections, so 300 redirections, as well as inaccessible or broken pages such as 400 and 500, and a catalogue of others that we just group into other inaccessible pages. Now you'll also notice that down the side we have thermometers with a colour coding system, so green means all good, blue means that it's informational. This just means that there may not be an intrinsic error, for non-indexable pages. There may be pages that you specifically don't want to have indexed. But by flagging it to you like this, it just draws your attention to the areas where it's potentially most needed. Red and full thermometers mean that there's a serious error. A 400 error page is always going to be unintentional. You don't want your content to be inaccessible. If you don't want the content to be accessible at all, then simply don't link to that content. Within the canonical section, we show a whole range of information to do with canonical data. So we perform a test on every page to see if the URL of the page and the URL specified in the canonical tag match, and if they do, then that's a canonical page. We also show non-canonical pages that are missing canonical tags, HTTP versus HTTPS, www versus non-www, trailing slash, non-trailing slash, as well as uppercase characters that are in URLs. For canonical content, we show the number of words that are on a page that is canonical. You may have a lot of pages on your site which are non-canonical, and so consequently it's not as important because Google aren't likely to be showing that in their search results. We also show a breakdown of the total content across the site, regardless of whether a page is canonical or not. We show this typically as a distribution, so the number of pages that have less than 100 words or more than 2,000 words. And again, for every piece of data that we show, you have a clickable link. So if you want to see all of the pages that have between 101 and 250 words, you just click that number and you'll be taken through to a page where you can see that data as well as additional data that we include within the table. We also show the number of images that you'll find on every page, or at least the number of pages with a certain group of images on them. So the number of pages that have 1 to 5 images versus the number of pages that have more than 20. In the linking section, we show the number of follow links versus number of no follow links, and we also identify pages that have less than 4 follow links, as these are going to be essentially island pages which are much harder both to navigate to and for users to find, and they're going to inherit a lot less authority from the rest of the site. With page speed, we again use a distribution showing the number of pages that fall into different categories. So here the green icon indicates that the page is loading fast because it's loading faster than a second. The just data for pages that load between 1 and 2 seconds, Again, this is something that's changing over time, and really we think that pages should load in faster than 1 second. Anything that loads between 2 and 3 seconds would be considered a minor error, and pages that load in any larger time would be considered a serious error. We'll also show you a breakdown of the typical metadata analysis that you would expect to see as part of any audit. So whether you have pages that have got missing, long, short or multiple meta descriptions. And we also include duplicate meta description sets, so you can see all of the pages that share the same meta description. We also show all of this data for page titles as well, so whether the page title is missing, whether it exceeds the character limit, whether it's too short, whether there's multiple iterations of a page title on a single page. And again, we show duplicate page title sets, which combined with duplicate metadata sets can provide a very good indication as to whether the content on your site is being duplicated. We also show some interesting information about Google Analytics. Now, not every site does use Google Analytics or Google Tag Manager to track their code, but those that do, this provides a really simple way for you to understand if you've got pages that are missing tracking code. Pages that are missing tracking code will not be tracking user behavior, and this can create all sorts of problems when measuring performance or trying to optimize your site for better performance. The sections that we show you here are things like missing GA code, GA being Google Analytics, multiple GA code, so if there's multiple versions of code on a page, legacy code, so if you're using code that's out of date, and we also show you pages that are missing tag manager code or have multiple tag manager codes. Now obviously if you're using just one of these, for example we use just the straight Google Analytics code, and so we're missing 495 pages of tag manager code, which isn't an issue because we're using a different form of tracking. Now if you use something like Omniture or Adobe, we don't currently track this at the moment. This is a feature that we're working on and we'll be adding in the near future. So this is a summary of all of the data that we collect during a crawl, and some of the analysis that we perform on that data, so that you can quickly and easily see what this means. Thanks for watching.